The Fantasy Football Hub hack is worse than we thought it was going to be, and it is worse than we are being led to believe. They have released the 70,000 personal user information from their Fantasy Football Hub hack. Today we'll be looking at what the hackers have said. We'll be looking at also how you can check if your name, your username is on that list, because there's been a very kind member of the community, not from Hub, but from the FPL community, who's gone ahead and listed all of the usernames that is on that list for you to check for yourself. We'll also be hearing what the Hub people who have finally said something, as well as a new update from Will, the founder. What the reaction to that video that Will has done is, the silence and the stifling of information that has been happening as well, and how the hack now has gone beyond Hub following a supposed chat with one of the hackers on another website. So let's get into it. The 70,000 plus user and personal information data that was hacked on Fantasy Football Hub has now been released, and there was another message sent from the hacker or hackers. And it goes pretty simple like this. Dearest FPL community, the time has come to euthanize the Hub. We gave the Hub a chance to cease all operations and refund all users in order for the remaining user data to leak. I won't go into any of the stuff I want to talk about specifically. I don't want to talk about the people they talk about. They said they thought it was funny that they're talking to the police, but let's go on to the points that the hackers are claiming and not the specific personal attack that people believe it is. So some of the ideas or suggestions that the hacker or hackers are giving us. So number one, the Hub did not hire a DPO, that's a data protection officer, despite a company that processes large amounts of data. They're saying they've got proof for all of this, by the way. I have not personally gone and downloaded all of these. I've been told the information. Please don't go and download files from a hacker on your computer. Let me just go and put that out right now. Get a virtual computer and VPNs and all that. Like, don't go out there and just I mean, the hackers are the bad guys in this situation because they've hacked someone. But that doesn't mean Hub's innocent, but also you can't just trust everything that a hacker says, and definitely don't download something that a hacker does, right? So let me just make that plain and clear right now. They said they've got proof and evidence for the stuff that they've got here. Time will tell if that's the case, but so far they've said exactly what they said they were going to do. Hub said they didn't have the passwords and the usernames. The hacker said, yes, we do. Here's 1,000. We're going to do another 70,000. No, they don't have it. Oh, they have some of it. Okay, here's the other 70,000. So anyway, let's carry on. So no data protection officer hired by Hub. The Hub had several types of cookies leaked onto their website, onto their web browsers, without even asking for permission from the user. So that's another claim there from the hackers. The Hub stored a little over 1,000 user password in plain text in a public directory. So plain text is when they just save your password as what you type it, which is like the lowest, worst kind of ending storage you can possibly do. It's like using a what's it crisp as a door lock, basically. The Hub engages in extreme tracking on its users, including monitoring their mouse clicks on site without notifying them. So again, another thing that Hub is apparently, I don't want to say spying on you when you're on their site. Maybe other sites do this as well, but this is just what the hackers is claiming that they've found. The Hub sells user data to marketing firms despite claiming not to do so in their privacy policy. That's a big one. Apparently, again, Hub came out and said, we are not selling your data. And the hackers are claiming they are. If they back that with evidence, what else can we say? Will Thomas, the founder himself, does not even know his own site stores passwords. That was clear because they came out and they said, we don't store the passwords, we've not got them. And then the hacker said, well, you do store them because that's how we've hacked them. 7, the Hub used a weak hashing algorithm, MD5 WordPress, which I've been told is like 10 plus years old worth of technology, which can easily be cracked. Number 8, the Hub did not immediately send password reset links to their users following the breach, meaning that anybody could have logged into the leak's account. So that was a point that I made on the previous video, that there was a 12-hour gap, that because they said your passwords are fine, your usernames are fine, and no big account came out and said anything. Hub didn't change that for like 12 plus hours. That was an extra 12 hours the hackers could go and do whatever they wanted with your personal information and with your FPL teams and whatever else you're using your email and password for that you use on Fantasy Football Hub. So they didn't immediately set out, just reset. If there's any danger, if you think there's a hack, send out reset. I will again tell you, I have not received an email. Like, I can plug in my phone and show you, I can sign into Hub and I've not received any kind of information. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not on a list. Maybe I've unsubscribed from it, or what. I don't know. But when this all happened, I signed into Hub on my phone, and I signed in. So I don't know what's going on there. Number 9, the Hub have several administrators with weak passwords. Okay, yeah, passwords being weak, it's not ideal, but you know, it's not worth hacking someone over. That's still not exactly a good thing to do. Hub does not offer two-factor authentication. That's to basically, if you've got two-factor authentication, if you sign in on something, you'll also have to like agree on another device or another account to double check that it's you. But this is also a problem with FPL, because the official FPL website also doesn't have this. So when you're getting hacked, they don't have that. So again, that's, for me, not entirely their fault, but if you're an account that handles 70,000 plus worth of data, you probably should look into put in two-factor authentication. 11, the Hub does not know the difference between hashing and encryption. Again, that's more incompetence than this. That's just bad management, and the fact that obviously they don't have a data protection officer as well, according to the hackers. 12, the Hub played down this entire incident as hackers gaining access to an autopost function for their socials. That actually was true. They said that they just got through that plugin and they only had access, and other people who commented, who are connected to Hub, said that they just got onto that plugin. There's no way they got your information. Everything's fine. And that turned out to be untrue. I'm not going to go as far as say it was a lie, but it was untrue. And 13, the Hub uses around 70 different plugins on the WordPress site, and many of these plugins contain exploits and are not updated. Updating them is just a matter of 1 or 2 clicks. So again, this comes down to just mass incompetence. And I'll make a point later about the fact that incompetence it doesn't give the hackers a reason. It doesn't give them a good reason to do what they've done, but it also doesn't excuse a problem. If there's mass incompetence, if it was any other company or any other job, you would complain, or if it was you would lose your job. So again, we'll keep moving forward. We have had access to the Hub servers for a very long time. The Hub did not release this since none of the Hub's budget was allocated to security. Again, we can't prove that. The hackers maybe can, or Hub will come forward and admit that they didn't do that. We have been monitoring how they misuse user data for their own profit. We have already released a file containing over 1,000 plain text passwords, which they did. We have seen many in the FPL community downplay the scale of this breach, something I do agree with, and I will discuss this later on. Some have claimed that we are bluffing. Some have claimed that this is a brute force attack. Again, I myself called another popular account out on Twitter about them saying, give Hub some time. It looks like a brute force, but let's not make any theories. When you've given a theory and you've given time, but you called out another extension and blamed them just like that. But because you're friends with the Hub, it's hypocrisy. It's as simple as that. There's so much hypocrisy and unfairness, and I'm the one that gets shunned and exiled, and people are just unfollowing me and stuff like that. But I would rather be honest and fair and unpopular, because that's just the way I am. If I see something that's wrong, and then I'll point it out. And I do still feel for, especially like the Hub content creators and the writers and people like that. It's a terrible situation to be in. It doesn't excuse you or anyone from not standing up for what is right. And that's just the way, I guess, that I was brought up. Moving on to what they're saying. Some have also claimed that FPL team sacrifices have nothing to do with the Hub being hacked. And again, they're claiming that that is not the case. You can download these files for yourselves to have a look at it. And then the other messages after this were like the download links. And of course, I'm not going to share that and spread people's personal data any further. So this was the message that the hacker or hackers gave out. And then they backed it up by releasing the 70,000 plus username, personal information and data, things like that. So again, some of the unanswered questions, which don't get answered, by the way, guys, which I'm still unhappy about and disagreeing with, are things like, have they sold your data? Are they using these cookies without our permission? Are they monitoring us with extreme tracking on their websites? Are they selling our information to marketing firms? How long did they know about the hacking information? All of these questions are still unanswered, and people are still not asking the questions and keeping quiet on it. But we'll come back to that later, because now I want to talk about how you guys can check now if you have been compromised on the Fantasy Football Hub website. So it's this person here called Angelo and it's at FPL Angelo. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing it. I think he massively deserves some follows and appreciation here, because what he's done is he has gone into what the hackers have published, and he's basically edited out the personal information and left in people's usernames. So if you click on this Google Doc here, it will come up with the information that the hackers said that they've taken. So let me just move this over here. So you can just Control F and search, search for your username for Hub. And, if your name is on this list here, then what the hackers released following this was your personal information. So you can see so number 1 is FFH Will, which we must assume is the founder because he is ID number 1. And then following this would be the email, username, password, things like that. So if you're worried that you have been compromised, but I'll also talk about later how this has now gone beyond Hub. But if your name is on this list and you haven't changed your password, please change any password on any website that is connected to the email address, or any password that's the same that you use on any other platform, Facebook, for example, or Twitter. Anything that uses the same email address and or password, change the lot of it. And just finally about this, just going back to Angelo and his great work, this person is not a worker of Fantasy Football Hub. So again, it has taken someone's kindness within the FPL community to go out there off his own back, almost 70,000 details he's got. Hopefully he's downloaded it safely and given people the information, the ID information to help the community. So big shout out to him. And I think it's pretty shocking that someone from Hub hasn't gone and done this, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on. We have finally received an update from Will, the founder of Fantasy Football Hub, and we finally had some input or information or comments from either people who contribute to Hub or just generally big popular FPL accounts. We're talking 10, 15, 20,000 plus followers on Twitter and YouTube as well. So let's just listen to what his message is. We'll look at the reaction and then I'll explain again why I'm just still unhappy, massively frustrated about the whole situation. So let's just listen to what he says and I'll disappear.
Hello everyone, I wanted to do a brief video about the recent cyber attack. Firstly, a little bit of admin. We've reset everyone's passwords on site, so when you go to Fantasy Football Hub, you're required to go to the lost password link and reset your password as a strong password. But secondly, and most importantly, I just want to say a massive sorry to everybody involved in the community. We've massively let you down. And I think it's clear now that we've not taken security seriously enough. And I'm just so sorry to all of our users and members whose usernames, emails, and some passwords were compromised. And I'd encourage everyone to go to sites where you've used similar passwords and make sure you reset your passwords. I'm also so sorry to our incredible team, incredible contributors who've put trust in me as founder, and all I can say is that we're working around the clock to try and rectify this situation, and we will learn from this, and we will put measures in place to try and ensure this never happens again. I'd also like to say, thank you to everyone that have sent me messages of support, and I've been inundated by them. So, thank you for that. I've not had a chance to respond to all of them, but just to say, a massive thank you to the community, and I'm so sorry.
I saw this and straight away I had commented here. You can see right below it, and I said, if you're hurting, I'm sorry. Of course, I don't like to see people upset about this. He's not done it on purpose. It's incompetence. It's negligence, but it's not done on purpose. But it solves nothing. This video solves nothing. There's no new information here. There's no answering of questions. It's just it's another sorry with no details. So I suggested to make a video on the reasons why security was poor, reasoning behind the Hub's response. Did Hub sell people's data? And again, earlier, like I said about things like the cookies and monitoring people's clicks, despite it being against their privacy policy. Why the silence from Hub the last few days? And since it all kicked off, why the silence from everyone? And this final point here, why accounts are messaging people to stop talking about it, to not post about it, to keep it quiet. Now, I'm going to show you something now. This is like the wall of support. And there are huge accounts on here. And I completely understand that people are not going to be happy with me for talking about this. But to be honest, I'm not bothered about it being popular. It's about being right. It's about being honest, transparent, and fair. You want transparency, you want to be fair, you want to be honest, then be honest. So a lot of these accounts are absolutely massive. Some of them I talked to before, or I've watched their content. I'm big admirers of them, huge in the FPL community. They've done a lot for FPL. They've been, they've done fundraisers, a lot. And we've heard nothing from them. Nothing since it all happened. Maybe that's a wise thing to wait for all the facts to come out, or it's not my business. But these guys have got such a huge following that a lot of this could have been done earlier on the day. Just a simple, we think we might have heard something, guys. So let's just say I've got 30,000 followers. Guys, something on a grapevine, don't worry about it, but just go and change your password and we'll see about it. You know, there's no harm in it. It takes you 1 minute to change your password. Just go and change your password. Would have been fine, but we heard nothing. I get that Will is their friend or his boss, and I get that the people at work or contribute or are sponsored by Hub or whatever, they're friends, colleagues, co-workers, whatever, but they still are not acknowledging the damage that they have done, and they are not answering the questions still left unanswered. These guys have huge followings. The ones that are not connected to Hub, who are just big accounts, the ones who are connected to Hub and Hub themselves have monumental followings. And we heard nothing from them for 3 days to inform mass followers that they have, the big backing and following that they have. And then when they have come out and said it, the response is to this video, and it is just pure support and go and change your password. Not 1 ounce of accountability is here or criticism. It's like, I don't want to hear be kind in a world where you can do this. Choose to be kind. I completely agree. But when someone does something wrong and they don't stand up and admit it quickly, and they make poor decisions, and everyone's like, they make a mistake. The comments I've seen about the reactions are either the majority are supporting him, backing him, saying that they'll be back stronger, or they're moving on and saying that it's your fault, it's the people's fault, or it's not a big deal. So it's your fault. Why do you got a bad password? That doesn't matter. They've hacked your account. They've hacked Hub, right? They've got your password. Doesn't matter how good your password is. It could be the most difficult password, but if they've hacked it and they can see it, they've got it. And to say it's not a big deal because you use what, not everyone has a million different emails that they use for every single thing. People sitting there right now, are you telling me you don't have the same email address for more than one thing? So you've got one email address and different password for Facebook. You've got another email address and another password for Twitter. You've got another email address and another password for Spotify. You've got another email and address. You don't, because that's not practical. You trust companies to have this competence and to have that security that they claim that they have. And all that we get from the big accounts has been, sorry about this, mate. Guys, go and change your password. And that's it. I do feel for the writers and the content creators. It's not their fault and it's not their business. And by it's not their business, I mean they're not involved. I mean they don't own this company. The hack itself isn't Will's fault. It's just gross negligence and incompetence. And even if, though, you are a content creator for Hub or a writer for Hub or for anyone for that matter, you can still stand up for what is right. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Doesn't matter who your boss is. Doesn't matter who your friend is. You should always stand up. If there was someone doing something terrible like racism or sexism or anything like that, you'd stand up and say it if they were a friend or not. They've made a mistake really badly. They've got to own up to it. There was talk about a clique going on at times in FPL, and if this isn't an example of one that is close to it, I'm not too sure what is. Not disclosing the truth, saying you're transparent but not giving us information or details, or remaining quiet on the topic, to me is just wrong. Why is no one else talking? Why does it feel like I'm just talking to myself? Or there's just a few people who are agreeing with me right now, and it seems to have been growing. To me as well, silence is a form of compliance. Like if you are not standing up and saying, so some big accounts are starting to slightly turn and say, I feel sorry for you, mate, but that is still not on. That's still not right. So in that video you just heard, he says things like, yeah, some of the passwords are gone. No, not some of them. They're all gone. You need to sort out your house here big time. You need to answer the questions that we are putting forward, the people are putting forward. And also, if the hackers are saying that you're doing things like selling data and you're using these cookies that invade people's privacies, or you're checking where we're clicking and all of this kind of stuff when you told us that you're not, and the hackers have said they've got information, and you're not denying the claims, you're not acknowledging the claims, they've already proved it with releasing the information when you said that they couldn't release it. And you expect us to just trust and believe you because you are good guys. It's just not on. I've seen people blaming people's passwords, and I get accused of victim blaming. So you guys got hacked. Oh, it's a terrible password. Oh, sorry, I should have trusted a company, a technology company that should have done better. And I've also been messaged by accounts or told directly by people that they've been told by other big accounts not to discuss it. So some are silent about it. Some of the big accounts in the community don't talk about it, don't post about it. They might just say, okay, reset your password, that's it. Others are actually private messaging people to say, don't engage, don't discuss it, don't post about it. And then the other ones are just don't want to get involved because it'll tarnish their reputation. They want to look like the good guys. They want to, just stay out of the mess and things like that. And for me, that's wrong. I think you have a responsibility. I have 8,000 YouTube subscribers and like 1,500 Twitter followers, right? And if I can, and not everyone is on Twitter and not everyone is on YouTube. And I think that they have a right to know. They have a right that if they've signed up and they've been hacked, what has happened, why it's happened, and what else are you not telling us? And I don't understand why that makes me the bad guy in this situation for asking these questions and receiving zero answers. And when other big accounts don't want to get involved because it's not their business, or they don't want to talk about it and don't think you should, how is that right? It's not. It's not right at all. Hub said they didn't store the information, but clearly they did because they got hacked and the hackers took it. So Hub are either lying about not storing the information, or they didn't know and they're just completely incompetent. And lying and incompetence doesn't matter because both of them are still dangerous. They both give other people the danger. If someone is doing it on purpose, if someone is lying, if someone is telling the truth but they're incompetent and there's no malice, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the other people are the ones that get hurt. So I said earlier as well about the hack going wider than Hub. So remember, if you've used your email address and or password for Hub, chances are other parts of that has also been possibly accessed. And that's if the hackers have sold it, for example, on the black market, because that's 70,000 plus worth of emails, passwords that, if I've got your email and password for Hub, I'll try it. If I'm a bad guy, I'll try it on Facebook, I'll try it on your Twitter, I'll try it on your bank account, I'll try it on everything, right? So how has this gone wider than Hub? Well, it comes to a website called FISO, that's FISO, which apparently is one of like the most original fantasy website. It's supposed to be like 10 years older than Fantasy Football Scout, which is regarded as like one of the oldest fantasy football websites. And this gentleman here is a moderator for that website. FPL Sergeant, Beer Fueled Man is his tag. He says his Fantasy Football Hub password is not easy to guess. It has capitals, letters, numbers, and symbols. It was not on the initial tranche of leaked details. I have been a moderator for FISO for years. Last night, someone logged in as me and banned 18 members. This is serious. So he's not even on the initial 70,000-ish leaks. He's been in the community for a long time. He's a moderator on one of the oldest websites going, and someone logged in and banned 18 members on that website, which leads me on to a conversation supposedly with the hackers. Now, it's either someone's hacked FPL Sergeant for that website, or they've gone on to another one, because what happened here, if we go to Jordi van der Laan, he said, so last night we've been talking directly to the Hub hacker, who seems to be from Hungary, which is what we assumed, because when Hub website went down, it was asking to translate from English to Hungarian. A regular FISO member had his post edited in the Rate My Team section, the entire script from the hacker who was put out. 2 examples. So, for example, this person here, Bobby Fett, is not like the hacker. He posted on the FISO website and found out that he'd had his message edited, and it's a copy and paste of the hacker's message I showed you at the start of the video about the demands and what they're going to do and things like that, right? So you scroll down, and then obviously this Bobby guy woke up and thought, what the hell's going on? And then when Bobby Fetters woke up, he's messaged, what the hell? I never edited my own post. What the actual F is happening here? And then below that, another edit. You didn't, but we did. Now get tweeting. So the thing that says edit, so this Bobby Fett guy, Bobby Fett has been hacked. We don't know if it's the same guy as this FPL Sergeant, but another guy on the website got hacked. And every time it says edit, that was the hackers going on to their comments in the Rate My Team section here and talking as the person edit from now on, okay? So just had the same thing happen on another account for this guy, Forest Fan, on another thread. Have our accounts been hacked or the board itself? Edit, yes. And then Bobby Fetter, I didn't make that post earlier. So again, we've gone beyond Hub now to another website. So we go down, another regular member, United FPL2, took the opportunity to ask a couple of questions to the hacker, because they claim to be the same hacker who has done the Fantasy Football Hub hack. So this guy here, it's not often you get a chance to chat to the hackers. This is a rare opportunity. If you're still there, did you attack Hub because money now is more involved in FPL? And if so, why go for Hub and not Scout or Fantasy Football Fix? Thanks in advance. So edit would be the hacker. We assume that this is a hacker. This is a factor. Hub are much more aggressive with their marketing and collect more information on their users than other websites. Scout was hacked to make the initial announcement. Fix are run greatly. So here they're suggesting that Fantasy Football Fix is a good company, and they use Scout. They hack Scout to make the initial announcement. Similar to the way that this is, Scout did have a comment posted on that was done. And this comes back to the idea that I said yesterday on my other video about a fail-safe. You shouldn't have one moderator or one administrator who can bring down the whole site, and that is not the case with Fantasy Football Scout. And they did post on their own page saying that it's not possible, everything's fine, and everything genuinely is secure. Okay, so try not to worry about that. Thanks for the reply. Being polite, I agree that user collecting and sale of information is awful. Something that Hub claim they are not doing. They haven't spoken about it since the hackers have mentioned it. And makes users susceptible to scams, crime, and future hacks by others using the same info. So if Hub is selling your data, that is not good, and it's not what you agreed to. Were you guys behind the attack of Andy, Let's Talk FPL, and Neil from Fantasy Football Scout a couple of years ago? So if you remember, I think it was last season or the season before, Neil from Fantasy Football Scout and Andy, Let's Talk FPL, were both hacked. Edit reply is no comment, Very happy to see Andy taking security seriously now, which obviously gives you the impression that it was them. But again, no comment. Just say yes or no. You know, you're hacking anyway. You might as well just tell the truth at this point. So also, can I just confirm that bank details information won't be leaked on Reddit tomorrow? Because a lot of people were saying, if you've hacked Hub, do you have my bank information? Because obviously this is getting real serious if you can steal all my money or lose all my money. You know, people say that this is Hub's livelihood and people have jobs. Well, imagine 70,000 plus people having all their bank accounts wiped. Is there anything on Twitter you want us to post? Seeing as you've got our attention, I'd rather be on your side than against you at the moment. I only have like 1,000 followers though. So here, Steve is sort of trying to be the mouthpiece to say, I'll tell people, I'm talking to the hacker. What's the point? What's the message? So so the hacker then says, bank details will not be leaked. We kindly request discussion about it on Twitter and bringing it to light. Thanks for your help. Please tag Fantasy Football Hub HQ, which is the official Hub Twitter. You guys just released the 70,000 accounts record on Reddit. I thought you were waiting until tomorrow. So this was yesterday. This was them saying, you know, we'll release it. And then their reply is, we gave Hub, until the start of October 5th. We didn't specify the time zone. So that's a little bit, I was going to say mean, but the whole thing is worse than mean to hack someone in the first place. But that's their point. They said, we'll give you to the 5th. If you don't own up and you don't refund, we'll release it. And they weren't bluffing. They did. They released it. Simple as that. So when I said earlier that this goes beyond Hub, it does. Because now this website, FISO, F-I-S-O, a long-standing website, moderators with good passwords who are not on the initial leaked list have been hacked. And it just boils down to, again, the fact that it feels though, where's the accountability? Where is the questions that we want answering? I get that this sucks. I know I don't look like I am or feel like, it doesn't look to you like I feel like I have any sympathy or empathy. I do. Hub didn't want this to happen. You didn't want this to happen. I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want to be the one either making the videos, but I cannot sit there and look at them, not discuss the mistakes and the decisions they've made with their initial responses, with their security, with their lack of hiring certain positions at the company and not spending enough on security, not answering any of the transparency that they're claiming that they're going to give us at Hub. What are they doing with those cookies? Are they selling that data? All of these are just being ignored. And all we're getting from big accounts, so my reach is not far, but all we're getting from big accounts is, guys, just reset your passwords and everything will be fine. Good luck, Hub. See you soon. And that's not good enough. It's just not, because there's around 70,000 people that have had their names, email addresses, and passwords. And it's not just people are downplaying it. Oh, it's just your FPL team. Well, one, that means a lot to some people. You know, it's 12 years of my life that I wouldn't like to particularly lose, even though I don't have a great record. But also, like I said before, a lot of people, it's not just Hub that they used it for. It's other things. And it's the fact that just because they didn't mean to do it doesn't mean that it's not punishable, or it doesn't mean that it should just be all forgiven and just trust what you say. They didn't tell us the truth when it initially occurred. They said they didn't store the information and they did. How do we know now when they're going to tell the truth next time about things like the cookies, the selling of data, the following the clicks on their website? Hopefully more and more people are going to start talking about this. Hopefully people are going to be not afraid to speak up about this. Bigger accounts than mine need to do it. It's as simple as that. No, oh, unlucky guys, unlucky bird, chin up, you'll be fine, see you later, Hub will be back, and all this lot. Absolute nonsense. Like, you've got a responsibility to your followers. If you're a big account on YouTube or Twitter, you need to be able to try and protect the people that trust you. And if you are signing with your mate or signing in your clique or signing with the other ones, or you don't want to upset the apple cart, you don't want to upset people, then I don't think you deserve it. I don't think you deserve that following. if you try to not take care of the people who trust you and made you who you are, then you don't deserve it. That's it. That's all I have to say. I've got the list of questions. I'm waiting for answers from someone. If someone wants to private message me on my Twitter about this, you're more than welcome to. Send me a message. Send me I have had people messaging me. They gave me the download links and they gave me the paste bin files, and they've messaged me saying, like, you know, these guys have told me not to say anything, and just lots of information like that. If you have any information or you want to discuss it, then I will discuss it. If you find something out, then I'll talk about it. Because if the other accounts and the other creators are not going to step up because they're worried about brands, they're upset, they don't want to upset anyone, they don't want to get involved, then I think they're letting their followers down. Hopefully all of these questions get answered. I do hope Will is fine. I hope the hub writers and content creators and people who work there, I hope it all works out well and this gets sorted out. But some things are going to have to get answered, and someone's got to be accountable for all of this. And it shouldn't be the 70,000-ish people that have to suffer. No one should have to suffer, but that's the world that we live in. I hope I don't have to make another video like this. And I hope that we get some answers. And I hope you guys get some answers. Please change your passwords and have a good one.